Hey, welcome to the Cohn phone. I'm Grant Cohn. I'll be taking your calls for the next hour or so. Take as many as I can. Before I get started, I want to lay down some ground rules because last week it got a little weird a couple of weeks ago. So, new rule: if you're going to be on the show, you have to have your camera on, or I have to know you personally, one or the other. Because if you turn your camera off, you could turn it on midway, and I don't know what you're wearing, what you're doing, who you are, and you could ruin everything for everyone. So you gotta have your camera on. I gotta see your whole background, your face. I gotta see if you brushed your teeth that day. I gotta see if you washed your face. If you got boogers in your nose, I need to know that so we can handle that before you come on the show because a lot of people watch, and this is my livelihood. Second thing is a lot happened in the last few days. First, it was Colin Cowherd and Mike Silver talking about arm fatigue and all the concerns the Niners supposedly have for Trey Lance. Then it was Dan Sileo coming out yesterday and saying that Donnie personally told him that the Bucks want to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo if the Browns don't do it first. I'd love to get your takes on both of those things. We're going to start with Korean 49er, then B Sizzle and Chris Lathan, and we'll go from there. Korean 49er always first in line, and I respect it. How you doing? Good to see you.
I got eye boogers though, so
So do I.
yeah.
So do I.
So to
Those are
start it
okay.
off, yeah, it's okay. I did a 13-mile bike ride in the morning, so legs are a
Wow.
little jelly-like.
Nice. That's a good feeling to get those endorphins before, what is it, 1 o'clock over there? Nice.
Yep. So
Nice.
about the Trey Lance arm story, that's a whole lot of pixie and fairy dust to me. That's all it is. I think they're trying to get clicks and attention since there's not much going on with the quasi off season.
That's really discouraging to me because really I look at Mike Silver as one of the OGs in NFL reporting. I mean, this guy's been doing it since the early 90s, late 80s. He has all the contacts. You know, he doesn't need to make up a story. He doesn't need to pretend that he has a contact. Like, if he's doing that, I'd be so disappointed. And I know him personally, and I'm thinking he's not doing that. So my mind's going to who is saying this about him? And honestly, real quick, after learning yesterday that Don Yee apparently speaks freely off the record or on the record with Dan Sileo, I'm starting to wonder who else Don Yee is talking to and what else he's saying because now I'm hearing people say stuff like, remember what Silver was saying? Great accuracy and just the guts. He's tough. Like, dude, that sounds like I thought that was John Lynch first. I was like, no. That sounds like Don Yee. Whoa. I don't know, man. To me, he better not be talking trash about Trey Lance behind his back. That's too much. If you want to pump up your own candidate, your own client, fine. But is Don Yee out here getting in is he the source? Talking to Silver, talking to Cowherd makes me wonder.
Never know with half of what's going on anymore. So maybe it could be somebody else in the organization leaking it out to increase Jimmy's trade value.
You know, it is Don Yee's job to, boost Jimmy Garoppolo's profile in any way possible. And really, Jimmy Garoppolo's profile is as low as it's ever been. I can say whatever I want about him on Twitter or YouTube, and people just laugh and laugh and laugh. It's his own fans. It's rough place to be, and I guess it's Don Yee's job to change that. Also, it seems like maybe Tom Brady's going to change that too if he brings him to Tampa. I don't know. Do you buy it?
Until Jimmy's traded, I still think he has no trade value. I think they should have.
Yeah.
I think they should have cut him in 2021 when they moved up to number 3, and were telegraphing they were going for a quarterback.
Yeah, like if the Browns bow out of the market because Deshaun Watson's only suspended for 6 games or 8 games or something, and it's just the Bucks, why would the Bucks trade? I mean, aren't they bidding against themselves? There's no other team that wants to trade. Now it's just like waiting for the Niners to cut him, and maybe the Niners won't, just to spite the Bucks. I don't know. I do think that the Niners probably would hold on to him forever. So it just seems like it will be a game of chicken. Guess.
I just think Kyle needs, the punching bag whenever things go wrong, and Jimmy's the perfect looking punching bag. So
yeah.
One last point with you, Grant, before you go to the next caller.
Sure.
You remember when Bill Belichick traded Drew Bledsoe?
Yes.
I don't get why 49er fans are concerned about trading Jimmy to the Seahawks. Bill didn't care about trading Drew Bledsoe, and he had a huge contract that he traded to. That Drew Bledsoe still had that $100 million contract at the time. to Buffalo. To me, I'm more worried about Seattle tripping and falling and finding a possible prospect for a quarterback, starting quarterback.
Right. I never understood Niner fans being concerned about Seattle getting Jimmy Garoppolo. It seems like you should want him to go. That's your number one, because that means you get to play him twice a year. I'm not scared of Jimmy Garoppolo. That defense intercepts him daily. I don't think they're scared of Jimmy Garoppolo. They know his tendencies. No, I mean, I think that's best case scenario is he goes to Seattle. And I think what we're seeing is Seattle's not interested because they're not stupid. Sorry.
I see Seattle more or less having a mediocre record and hoping they could hit on a prospect in the draft, the next draft.
I think they're tanking. I don't know. It looks to me like the league is looking at next year's quarterback class as special. So what you saw a lot of quarterback needy teams that like Seattle not reach for a quarterback this year because the whole league agreed that this class was not good. So I think it's hard to see the oldest coach in the league tanking, but I think he has a ton of job security too.
Yep.
So I think that's what's happening.
One last question. What do you think about UCLA joining the Big Ten?
I don't like it at all because I like going to UCLA games when they come up to Cal or Stanford once a year. So, I mean, that's my only real connection to college football sports is watching UCLA when they come up here. So now I can't do that anymore. And now I got to watch Chip Kelly's awful team play, early games in the Midwest and the East Coast. Whatever. I'm not that into college sports to begin with. I was talking to Mr. Roscoe's yesterday. This is my idea. What I don't like about college sports is how disingenuous it is. They still call it amateurism. The players get paid, the coaches get paid, everyone gets paid, and it's big business. They should just call it, instead of college sports, they should call it junior professional sports. Let's be honest about it. Sponsored by your favorite college. That's what it is now. It's not college sports. It's junior professional sports.
Yeah.
So, that's how I feel about it.
Well, you could always make a road trip up to Madison,
Iowa.
Madison, Wisconsin's pretty decent. You would like that town. So
that's a hell of a road trip.
Yeah, but it's only it's a little over 2 hours from O'Hare Airport. But it has a great atmosphere when you go to games.
No, I heard it's great. I heard it's a lot of fun.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you, Grant. You have a nice weekend.
You too. Take care. Chris Lathan. What's up, man?
What's going on, Grant?
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there, man. How's everything going with you?
Can't complain.
Yeah, man. There was something that I kind of figured out, and I know that you were asking, you always talk about why the Niners don't draft high on corners, and it's been a minute. And I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I think I might have figured out why. If you look at Kyle Shanahan, and like you guys were saying earlier, I guess with what's his name, Crocker, how they were talking about RG3, and he wants the quarterback to basically run the system. He needs to be like a machine or whatnot. So when you're looking at Kyle Shanahan and how he views his offense and everything, his mindset might be, well, what would I need to do to stop me? How would I stop my own offense? And you can scheme for a lot of things except for pass rush. Mm-hmm. It is hard to scheme when you have waves of it coming at you. True. And the thing is this, you rotate defensive linemen. Offensive linemen don't rotate at all. And the funny thing is that, and this goes a little bit into Jimmy, it was actually working. When we played Mahomes and when we played the Rams, we were doing good. The only issue that we had was that when you get to that level and the adjustments get made, your quarterback has to be able to make another adjustment, take it up another gear for at least 3 or 4 plays. And Jimmy couldn't do it. He just could not do it. What are your thoughts?
As good as I understand this whole pass rush over everything. And it helps. It works to a large degree, but even in the Super Bowl, defense was doing really well, and then it totally collapsed. I mean, it couldn't stop anything in the fourth quarter. Now, the offense didn't help, but the defense couldn't stop anything in the fourth quarter. And I guess, there were some injuries. They didn't have waves anymore. And it was like Buckner, Armstead, Bosa, they got tired and there was nothing that defense could do. I mean, they gave up, what was it, 3rd and 15, the famous 3rd and 15. But what's funny is
Yeah.
That's so uncharacteristic. It was so fluky. They just stopped at 1 3rd and 15. Well, the thing about this Niners defense that's top 5, maybe top 3 consistently is they're not good on 3rd down. And even on 3rd and 10, 12, 15, they get beat. They got beat in Tennessee. They got beat in the NFC Championship game. It's a big hole in their defense. And I feel like that's why, to me, they're not an elite defense. They're like one step beneath one, and they should be one. But until they actually until they actually put some real resources at DB, they're not going to be one. Now, Ward could be the person that totally vaults them into the top 10 on 3rd down defense. Maybe Travarius Ward does that for him. In which case, great, because that's the biggest investment they've made at corner in a long, long time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm just saying I think that might be where he's coming from, because one of the things that I remember, and this was some time ago, it's going to sound funny, during the Patriot dynasty, and which was, God, how long was that? 20 years? I clearly remember one of the newscasters saying that what Bill Belichick did in this game on one play, or maybe throughout the game, he put his 3rd corner on their best receiver, but he double covered him.
Right.
And then he took his best corner, put it on their 2nd best receiver. And then it began to equal out, because now you don't have to, your 3rd best corner, he's not expected to hold the guy. Just make it difficult for the quarterback to make the throw. Because if you have an elite wide receiver, you can never really fully, especially in today's NFL, you can never really fully shut them down, but make it more difficult for the quarterback to get the ball. And if you have a pass rush and get them off the spot, then that could be extremely difficult.
What's funny is you bring up Belichick. Belichick is actually the one I'm thinking of. He's the one that's really not pioneered, but he really invests in DBs over everything. His safeties, his corners. He doesn't spend big money on his defensive linemen. He traded Chandler Jones. He traded Richard Seymour.
Yeah.
His attitude is, again, like you said, you can rotate those guys. Also, you can manufacture pressure with stunts and blitzes and things like that. Whereas you can't really manufacture coverage. I mean, you can play zone all day, but if you don't have a guy who play man-to-man coverage against the best wide receivers in the league, it really limits what you can do. From Kyle's perspective, if he has time, he can call man beaters, right? He can call zone beaters. If the quarterback has times, Kyle can scheme up something that beats any coverage. That's where he's coming from. I get that. But I feel like the way the league is going is more of a spread, quick passing league anyway.
Yeah. I would totally agree.
It's a space game now.
I just think that if we're going to try to win a championship, we need to do so, and we need to hurry up, because DeMeco Ryans, I mean, you just can't keep getting these defensive coordinators. Like, DeMeco may be gone after this year.
He might be. Absolutely. It's true.
Yeah. So
who do you think be the next in line?
I got this guy that a lot of people know, and I think he would be excellent at this job. And he's not very familiar, okay, but he's been around the league for a long time. He knows a lot of teams, and he knows the 49ers inside and out and what their problem is. And I believe he went to UCLA for a little bit. I think he was there for like 4 years. Now his background isn't in football, but it's in journalism, I believe. And he is extremely good at what he does. And his name is Gangster Hyphy Grant Cohn. I think he would be the best defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Robert Saleh schooled me. I think I know enough. I think I can do it. Chris, I got to take more calls. I appreciate you, though, man. Thanks for calling in. Avoid the
All
heat
right,
today.
man. Have a good one.
All right, man. Later.
All right, bye.
Scott Martin says PSJ to Tampa equals immediately extend 19 probs and Bosa. I think Bosa is going to wait. As Debo wants his money now, I think Bosa's quite content to wait till next year because he knows he'll get paid more next year. All right, the Schwartz, you're up.
Hey, Mr.
Hey.
Cohn.
How are you?
Oh, what's that?
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty
Nice to
sure.
talk to an old Oakland OG. I mean, I
Nice.
grew up in
Are you in
Oakland.
Oakland?
Well, I'm in Scattered to the Wind. I'm far away down here in San Leandro.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's where my mom grew up.
Well, yeah, right. Skyline High School, class of '68.
Wow. I grew up around the corner from Skyline High School.
Really,
But
what
my
area?
brother went to Skyline, class of 94. Tom Hanks spoke at his graduation. And I went to O'Dowd, where my mom went.
Really? Yeah, I grew up in the Crestmont area up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Crestmont.
Anyway, I have some questions I need to ask because there's
Sure.
something the ongoing saga of Jimmy Garoppolo
Sure.
that I'm curious about his contract. Now, if they cut him now, he gets $7.5 million, but they get that back if he resigns somewhere else. But do they get that money back if he just disappears, doesn't sign with anybody?
That's a good question. I don't know the
Because
answer. My impression is that they don't, but I don't know for certain. And I've gotten conflicting information on this. So I gotta talk to someone. This is a really good question. I don't know.
Because because I believe my prediction is he has thrown his last pass in the NFL. I don't think anybody's going to sign him. I think the league knows that he is not a starting quarterback anywhere.
Wow.
And he may not even be a backup. So I think, put my tinfoil yarmulke on and do a conspiracy theory here, that they delayed the surgery so his recovery would go into the season, forcing the 49ers to either cut him and he gets a $7.5 million parting gift as he goes off into whatever black hole he goes into on the offseason, or they keep him to the season, he gets $27 million.
You're right.
John,
I think you're absolutely right.
Of that, so
Hold on. I think this is what happened. I think he gets $7.5 million cash no matter what. And I think what the deal is, if he signs somewhere else, the Niners get that cap space back. So I think the cash they give to Jimmy actually counts against their cap space. But once he passes a physical and signs somewhere else, they get the cap space back. But I think Jimmy gets to keep that check. I think that's what is going on.
It would be interesting because it would explain a lot of stuff, like the scheduling of the surgery, everything. It was like they just put it into it. Jimmy may realize he's done, and he just puts another $7.5 million before he goes away.
Right. It made it so that he potentially won't be able to pass a physical before the Niners have to decide whether to keep and guarantee a salary. That's pretty genius. I mean, if you were Jimmy's agent, wouldn't you advise doing that?
Hell yes, I would.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Hey, Jimmy, they're trying to fuck you. Here's how I'm going to save you. Yeah.
You could make a list of things I wouldn't do for $750,000.
Yeah.
I have a couple other things. One of the things in terms of the quarterback room. Now I've been watching some of those USFL games. Now at the beginning they weren't so hot, but I think it's the Pittsburgh Stallions. I think they're from Pittsburgh. They have two quarterbacks, Magoo and Smith. Birmingham Stallions. Okay, my charming wife has just told me Birmingham.
She knows.
She reminds me of these things. Anyway, that Magoo and Smith, both of them, are pretty good quarterbacks. They both have skill sets that match Trey Lance's. Magoo, I think, is the better of the two. He's their starter. And they both seem to have pretty strong arms. They got to be better than Nate Sedfeld.
I got to watch. I haven't watched any USFL. The fact that there could be a quarterback on the Niners named Mr. Magoo, I'm all in. I want that. I'll watch. No, I'll watch their highlights. And when do is the season over? I don't know how I missed it.
Over. They should at least bring him in for a workout.
Is it like for 3 weeks?
I don't know.
Where was it?
They had their playoff series and championship game. The Birmingham Stallions did very well. They had both those quarterbacks. Magoo got hurt, and Smith came in. They both can run like crazy.
Okay.
And they both have pretty strong arms. Accuracy, don't know about. They don't have the best receivers, so you don't know.
Right.
So I think
you can't judge accuracy on completion percentage because completion percentage is measuring how often a ball is caught. It's very dependent on the receivers. Extremely.
That's a good point. So
accuracy is about placement, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'd have to say, in relation to the last caller about the fate of D'Amico Ryan, I'll make another prediction here. Next year, he's head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
That's perfect fit for him.
And
Absolutely perfect.
I thought you were going to say next year Robert Saleh is going to be the Niners defensive coordinator. I was going to be, that's not.
Well, if they cut him if the Jets cut him,
Jets, he could come right back.
The job would be available to him.
That is probably true. Although I think the Jets should be pretty good this year. We'll see.
But so anyway, that's about it. And then, just as an aside on your general, what you've been doing, I really admire what you've built up here. This is really something. It would be nice for you to find someone on other teams that the 49ers play that do similar things to you.
I'm way ahead of you. I'm going to do that this year. We had an all publisher conference call at Fan Nation, and I said, can we do a weekly thing where we interview each other before the teams play? And everyone thought it was a good idea. So yeah, we're going to do that.
That would be good because, we get you can follow the Niners and you know what's going on, but I don't really know what's going on the Cardinals. Yeah. Good
idea. Thanks, Schwartz. Call in anytime.
I'll talk to you later.
Take care. Real quick, we got a couple of things. Senior Boat says, Grant, just finished watching Niners Coast to Coast and that Dan Sileo interview. Man, you're on fire, bruh. Keep on the great content. And what's a good email address to reach you at? GrantCohn@gmail. One word. The coach says, one player comp that I never hear for Trey is Cordell Stewart. Big arm, very athletic. Trey reminds me of Flash. Yeah, that's a good one. I like Cordell Stewart. He sort of played in the 90s when those types of quarterbacks, sort of gadget players, weren't really taken advantage of to the full extent. I feel like offensive coordinators got more creative, and a guy like Cordell Stewart would be more effective today with just more of a spread league. Good idea. I mean, good call. Cordell Stewart. He won a lot of games for a guy who didn't have great numbers. But again, that was 30 years ago. Cordell Stewart. Man, I haven't thought of him in a long time. CJ Gray, what's up?
What's up, man? What's up going on? I'm all right. I guess I'll start with the disrespect of the 49ers. It's got to stop. I think I've seen something where we're 19th. We're ranked. Our power ranking is 19th.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and I'm like, what are they doing here? We went to the NFC Championship game last year. We probably should have a top 5 defense. Our Achilles heel with our defense, which you was stating earlier in your program, which is our coverage, our secondary.
Got better.
Man, my boy Jason Aponte, man, he says that we got the best secondary that San Francisco's had since 1994. So
I can see why I would say that. I can see why I would say that. As Julian Edelman once said, I could see why he would say that. You can make that argument. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about Talanoa, man. We got 2 question marks out of the 5 positions. There's 2 question marks. They have the potential. But not yet. Because really, like in 2011, they had every spot taken care of in that secondary. 2012, even though one was Chris Culliver, who wasn't the greatest. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have an historical defense this year. I think teams are going to be in a lot of trouble trying to move the ball on us. And then when you combine that with the special teams that we've improved, that's going to affect starting field position.
Well, let's just be real. Like, why do you think these national publications that don't know the Niners super well are fading them so hard? What's the big reason?
I have no idea.
Yes,
Grant.
you do. Yes, you do.
I think it's just clickbait. I think they want to anger the 49ers fan base. And then there's a second thing that I think that you're getting to is the Trey Lance and the
It's Trey, man. People don't know. They don't know what's going on out here. It was highly irregular trading up. Take top 3 pick doesn't play. It's highly irregular. It doesn't happen. I mean, people are just reading into it. And I think a lot of people nationally are looking at like, they're really moving on to Trey Lance. I'm betting against that team. I think a lot of people are. Now, people that like Trey Lance are looking at this team as possible Super Bowl contenders. I'm in the middle. I like Trey Lance, but I'm fading this team because I'm disappointed that they were so tepid, that they didn't do more in free agency because they kept Jimmy, and that they have Jake Brendel and they have Jake Brendel starting. They could have had a real starting center.
And that's kind of what or in training camp. Training camp, my mind is kind of hesitant because right now there's part of me that wants to say, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then there's another part that will be like, man, we got like 4 or 5 unknowns that if it goes the wrong way, we could not only not be a Super Bowl contender, but not even be a playoff contender if these things don't go the right way with these positions.
This schedule this year is crazy brutal. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell, and you never know who's going to be healthy that week when you play them. But just right now, AFC West, the Bucs are on the schedule. It's brutal.
But I think it's brutal. I think it's brutal in terms of if Trey is not the guy. I think that's the only way. Because as far as our defense is concerned, there's not a lot that scares me. Even when you look at the paper of our schedule, I just feel like we could hold teams down in the less than 20s every single game that we suit up. And then we don't really ask the kid to do very much. We ask him to throw about 20 times a game. We run in a whole lot. And
he should be able to he should be able to protect himself to a large degree. He's so athletic and quick and strong that he can avoid a lot of sacks, but I'm afraid he's going to get not necessarily sacked a lot, but hit a lot because, I mean, pressure up the middle. There could be a lot of pressure in his face. And how long is he going to hold up? Holding the ball, extending plays, being a hero? Because if he misses a month, the season's over, man. You know it is. Nate Sudfeld time, unless Jimmy's still here.
Yeah, he don't need to be a hero, Grant. He just needs all he needs to do is those 20 throws. And most of the time, Kyle's going to scheme somebody open. There's going to come off a play action. He's going to move the launch point like he did in the Texans game when he changed his launch point, or like in the Kansas City game when he changed his launch point. Got the defense on one way, and now you got a 40, 50-yard bomb to a guy one-on-one coverage. Or not even. I
want to see him slide, CJ. I just want to see him slide. He has a little hero mentality sometimes where he's like, no, dude, slide. Please. You have to play. You got to start 17 games. That's his mentality. That should be his mentality. Start 17 games. Because I don't know the Niners can win without him this year.
I think sometimes where when he ran, he just dove face first into the ground or he did clunky things to try to avoid contact. I was almost worried about him when he tried to avoid contact. It just kind of looked kind of crazy. But maybe he could do better about avoiding.
Do some people have a mental block about sliding? I mean, I played Little League, so I like sliding. I don't know. Is it some people just don't do it?
But in North Dakota, he was accustomed to people being smaller than him, and he could just run them over.
Same with Carson Wentz, and you saw what happened to Carson Wentz in the NFL. That's all I'm saying with him, man. Like, don't do what Carson Wentz did. That's what Wentz was all about. Let me show you what I'm made of. No, you're a quarterback. Stop. Anyway.
No.
CJ, I like one more. Let me see the jersey real quick. It's nice.
That's that Steve Young.
Man, that's pretty, man. Is that the 94? 75?
Yeah.
Really Young, nice. Man. Gotta like
came over.
You got
throwback.
All right, man. Good to see you, dude.
All right.
Peace. Later. Peace. The Mac. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Live from the 49ers facility. Glad you could make some time.
I just wanted to say something quick because I don't have much time.
Okay.
But I actually believe that if what you've been saying, because pretty much all the 49ers content I consume comes from you, but if what you've been saying about his training camps and what he's been doing about throwing over the middle, you said he didn't throw long, he didn't throw that much out. He was mostly checking down or throwing down the middle, which is what Jimmy used to do.
Correct.
If he's been doing that efficiently, I think the 49ers are going to do really well this year.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Because we already know he can throw deep and he can throw out the sides. Even during the games we watched, what he did best was throwing to the sidelines and throwing deep. So if he already fixed the other part, which is what we thought was lacking, it seems like it's going to work. And
I'm not concerned with him. I'm just concerned with their ability to keep him healthy. I know it's kind of a cop-out thing to talk about in July because it's like, it's football, injuries happen, but seriously, man. I mean, you're playing with fire here. I don't know if they have a starting center on there. They don't know if they have a starting center on their roster. They don't know if they have a starting left guard on their roster. They don't know if they have a starting right tackle on their roster unless McGlinchey makes a full recovery now. So, I don't know. That's why I'm skeptical. And it bugs me that the Niners think it's more important to have a really good backup quarterback than a really good offensive line. It's like, oh, you're preparing? Are you counting on the injury? What? We're not going to protect you. We're just going to have a really good backup. Like that's sadistic. What are you talking about?
In 2020, they needed a good third quarterback because they got 2 of them injured.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, you got to go be a dad? Is that the problem?
Well, yeah, basically. Hey,
All right,
what happened the other week that you now asked for this different way that we have to have a camera
I don't want to
on?
say it because I don't want to encourage like copycat.
But was it?
DM me on Discord. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you. It was disgusting.
Okay.
Is
it kind of like what happened to Jesse? I think.
Yeah, but worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll see you,
talk.
man. Later.
Bye.
C Diggy KO, I'm coming to you. The coach, you're up next.
I had to chime in, man. You're killing me.
I was waiting for you to chime in.
You're killing me.
Okay.
You're killing me. The optimism from you is getting a little disgusting.
Okay, fair enough. Bring me back.
Like I'm not worried about him as long as they keep him on his feet.
I did just say that.
You literally just said that as if he's just a turnkey product. Grant, stop.
You're right.
You're
Can I
getting
just say what I
carried
said
away.
before you move on? Because you make up a good point. Only reason I say that is I've seen him practice a lot. And I know it's just practice, but I put a lot of weight in my practice observations. And I'm
Grant, that is your GOAT. I just cut you off. Grant, I'm so upset right now.
I'm just saying where I'm coming from. It doesn't mean you have to coach.
But you always say that.
I think I'm going to be right.
All right, okay, but
I'm not trying to like waffle now. I think I'm going all.
You're doubling down.
Yeah, Kyle won't. I am.
All right, you're doubling. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
I
doubling.
am. And if I'm wrong, dude, please take me to task. I'll say I was wrong.
I'm not. But I don't. First of all, we're on the same side. I want him to be good. I'm not taking you to task. It's not that I don't want him to be successful as well. That's not what I'm saying. But just the matter of factly, like, yeah, as long as I'm worried about not the guys that have been playing professional football all their lives. No, I'm not worried about the kid who's never started more than 3 games in a row. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about if the rest of these shills can get their act together and raise their level to the heir apparent. That's how you're coming off.
Man, I'm just being consistent because we've talked about this since last year. I think you disagree with me, but I've been consistent since last year. I've felt that Trey Lance gives the Niners a better chance to win than Jimmy Garoppolo. I felt this last year. So all I'm saying is they're finally going to be playing the quarterback who gives them the best chance to win. They went quite far with their second best quarterback last year. It was very impressive.
But that's a one-on-one.
Brendel was not the best center on the team. It's not like they're magically getting their best center out there. Like, no, that's a downgrade. I don't think they're downgrading at quarterback.
I wanted to talk about that too, by the way.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So obviously, Tom is looking for his last to Bill.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's looking for his last, like, hey, Bill, I got your boo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about compensation.
Yep.
Tampa don't have shit.
Nope. It's got to be a player, man. I think it's got to be a player.
They got that center.
Yeah, man. I think that's what it's got to be, dude. It's got to be a player. Give me that center.
Give me that center.
You want an heir apparent? You want the heir apparent to your franchise? Give me that center.
Give it up.
Yeah.
And isn't that the guy that Jensen? Yeah. And we were looking at that guy anyway, and they didn't sign him for that much. It wasn't that bad of a deal. It was the highest for the market for what it stood, but with Jimmy gone, we can make something happen.
That sounds good to me. If the Niners can get a good starting center after this, I will never criticize John Lynch again. I won't.
Yeah. Let Trey grow, though, man. You can't be.
Is it setting the bar too high to say he's going to be better than Jimmy?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can ask me why. Don't just respond. Don't just respond. Ask me why.
Why? That's what I was asking you. Why do you think Trey's going to be worse than Jimmy at first? Yes.
Hold on. So ho. If what you're asking me is that you're asking me is Trey going to be as good as 2018 Jimmy? You said Jimmy at first.
No. I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that correctly. Do you think that from where Jimmy finished last year, if Trey starts week 1, his level will be a little bit below that initially? It'll be a step
Yes.
down initially before it's a step up. You think so?
Oh, I think he will clearly be a step below Jimmy
Wow.
when he starts.
Why? Just experience.
Well, yeah, he's got experience at all. Like, I mean, just think about something as small as 2-minute drill. Somebody is off time. Like, he's got to know how to get routes timed the right way. He's going to have to know who, like, we think he likes Brandon Ayuk, but have we really seen that? We think he likes Debo, but has he really seen that? Grant, practice is not football, Grant. It's
All
not
right,
football. I know you're about to smack the shit out of me. You getting mad? I know you.
I'm just trying to think like what I can bet you. Like, what is the bet going to be, and what are we betting? Because like that's I just want. I hear what you're saying.
Well, shit, I give you enough super chats. We could just do cash. Shit, I got you on my taxes. Let's do cash.
That was funny. Nah, we don't got to bet on it. But no, I appreciate it. You're right.
Let's do something. Let's do something friendly. We got to bet. Let's do something friendly though. Because we're saying 9 wins. We're both saying 9 wins, but I think we get there differently. I'm saying 9 wins.
And he's the reason they won't make it to the playoffs. I'm saying 9 wins and the offensive line will be the reason.
And yeah, exactly. You're saying 9 wins and we'll hold Trey back. I'm saying 9 wins and that's enough to feel special about our quarterback going into year 2.
All right. That's possible. I mean, it's possible that he'll have just weeks where he looks really good and weeks where he looks like a rookie. To me, what he showed in the second half of the Houston game, I don't think Jimmy could have done that. I think by the end of his second start, he had surpassed Jimmy Garoppolo. I could be wrong. I'm going my
What's
gut
the
on
best? All right, okay. I think I know the answer. But what's the best you've seen Jimmy look? Throwing the ball, not with the team, individually. Would you say the Cardinals in 2019 or New Orleans?
I thought the best he ever did was back when he first got to the team in 2017.
Okay, when he wasn't gunshot.
The way he moved and created the game against Jacksonville in 2017. That was his best game. He eviscerated a very good team that thought they were going to beat him, and he made some plays off schedule, rolling left in the throwing back to his right to Trent Taylor. I thought he looked really good. Ever since he tore his ACL, I felt he's been a little clunky, a little skittish, and even his best games in 2019, I just felt like. I don't know. That's how I felt about Jimmy.
I just think that for everything that we say about Jimmy, right? We're not saying that he's horrible. We're just saying that he can't get over the hump, right? True. Would you say that Jimmy is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, what Mayoko called him the 25th best quarterback in the league. Like, that's about fair. 25.
All right. Okay.
But the question is like, do you want to have the 25th best quarterback if he's 30? It's like, or would you rather just go with someone who's young and has upside? Because Jimmy doesn't. Because you just said he can't get over the hump, right? So like, what's the point?
Yeah, what is this? 9 years?
Yeah, what's the point of spinning your wheels with the 25th best quarterback who can't get over the hump? Unless, it's funny. Kyle needed him last year, right? Unless you're on the hot seat and you just really need to get to the playoffs one time, maybe Jimmy's attractive. Otherwise, if you have aspirations. Real serious aspirations, it's like, man, maybe we should just develop someone else.
No, I look at it this way. For what you're saying about Jimmy, if Jimmy's the 25th, let's just go with that barometer. If Jimmy's the 25th best quarterback in the league now, what is Trey starting week 1?
I think he's going to be a lot better than that. I think people are sleeping on him. He's been in.
And for me, I'm glad you said that, because for me, that's where shit gets crazy. Because I feel like we are going so hard on this pro versus con versus with Jimmy and Trey that in a way we're saying that Trey is so much better than Jimmy, but by proxy, we're saying that Trey is better than other quarterbacks in the league as well, not just Jimmy. So for you to say that Trey is going to be much better than Jimmy, and the boy ain't even started a full season yet, then you're not saying 24. You see what I'm saying? If he's the 25th, you're not saying he's 24th. You're saying much better.
Have a better TD to INT ratio than Jimmy. I believe that. He may not have as high of a completion percentage, but his yards per attempt will be higher. His yards per completion will be higher. He'll throw more touchdown passes. He'll throw fewer interceptions. He'll run for more yards. He'll run for more touchdowns. It's going to be night and day, Coach. I can't say it with my chest loud enough.
I know it. That's why, and that's why it's bothering me that you got your fucking pom poms out. It's so disgusting because I've never seen you get behind something like this. It's kind of weird. You're turning into a fanboy, and I don't like it. Like you
that way though. I don't see it that way though, man. It's just you gotta. I mean, it is an issue
because I'm gonna be here with bells on. Huh?
So hold on. So people that say, I mean, it just seems like if you pick a side, Jimmy or Trey, you're a fanboy. In the non-fanboy position, is just riding the fence. I don't see it that way, sir.
No. You can support the franchise and support the future of the team. I want Trey to be exactly what we got him for. Okay. But what I'm not gonna do is just because I'm so ready to offload the quarterback that we had before, somehow give Trey attributes and things about him that I haven't seen yet. Now, you've seen practice. I have not. Let's start with there.
Yeah.
Right. So there's an element to this that you've seen that I have not. But then again, practice still ain't football. And the things that you're saying, you're pragmatic. You're a straight shooter. So for you to say like this boilerplate, like, oh, as long as they just keep him up, or when Trey starts, he's going to be way better than Jimmy. For me, that leans on the side of that kind of errs on the side of hyperbole. Like, okay, what are we doing here?
I hear you, but when I'm right, you got to give me credit, though.
Oh, when I'm right, I will give it all up. I'll be here with bells on when you're right, and I'll be happy that you're right. I will get on and say, Grant, I was fucking wrong, and we're the shit. Like, but for now, let's act like there's other professionals on the field making money too. It's not like we're all just waiting for Trey to dawn us with his presence.
All I'm saying is he just tore up minicamp and OTAs in a way I never saw Jimmy do.
How long is minicamps and OTAs, sir?
It's a few weeks, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Look, let's see what happens in training camp.
There we go. That's the next evolution. You just got to keep doing it, right? Because what I don't want him to have a bad week at camp, and then you start going back in all of this like backfield. But he looks so good in these weeks. Nah.
If you go back and remember OTAs, I was like, he's looking really good, but he hasn't thrown deep yet. And then he did. He's looking really good, but he's this is why he doesn't throw a spiral correctly.
Okay, I stand corrected. Okay.
I will be unbiased. At the same time, I'm not going to ride the fence. I put my stake in the ground last year, and I'm not waffling off of that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, ho. But why won't you ride the fence? Because you believe.
Because I believe in my idea.
And okay. Because I was about to say, are you being a conscientious observer, believing?
I'm not saying I believe in him. I'm trusting my eyes test. I've been doing this 12 years. Okay. I'm wrong. I feel like I'm right more than I'm wrong on my judgment based on the practice field, but I could be wrong. I'm just trusting my eye test. I'm betting on myself right now.
But start with that though.
Yeah.
Don't lean on all of the past practice reports that we've seen. No. Come out, Wiggy, and say, all right, guys, I know that I'm always wait and see, but I'm kind of pushing my own chips on the table with this one.
No doubt. Hey, and if Trey Lance looks bad in training camp, I will say it, and I will explain why, and he won't like me. He might block me. I'm not trying to be his friend.
Fuck it.
I'm happy to say what Trey Lance isn't doing right if he's not doing right. Okay. No problem.
All right.
I'm not a cheerleader pom pom fanboy. Just want to say that.
All right.
Coach, I got 7 people waiting.
I'm so sorry for taking up your time, man. It was great.
It was great.
We're gonna talk, man.
All right, later.
All right.
Peace. C Diggy.
Greg Cohn, what's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Just want to come on here. I feel like yesterday you had an interesting day with with talking to the guy from Tampa and from California. Your dad's name?
Yep.
I can't think of his name right now, but
Dan Cilio.
Yeah, Dan Cilio. And it was funny just listening to him. Like, I just listened to how people talk and how people that don't watch Jimmy all the time, has a different perception of Jimmy than we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what it comes from. It's mainly from just his win to loss ratio. But nobody
And
really
his relationship with New England. I was talking about like he doesn't throw deep, and he was like, "Well, he's like that's like Brady, right? Like Brady."
Right. But Brady can throw deep, and he will throw deep.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, like you must not have seen Jimmy very much to think he's like Brady, man. I'm sorry.
Right. So,
Yeah.
you know, it just and just listening to you and Coach and like Coach, like you were saying, when Jimmy first came out, now I never was just sold. And like I said, I give all commend to all these professional athletes because they doing it, to get to where they are, it takes a lot. But however, I never was sold as he's the guy. When he won those 6 games, actually he won 5 games, at the end of the season, the team was evolving. The team was getting better. Like, if you go back and look at that season, it was a lot of games lost by 3 points, 2 and 3 points. Like, it was
with
games
Befford starting and Hoyer starting. Yep.
Right. Those games was lost at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So
Kittle was on that team. Like, they could run. The Burrito was on that team.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then, what made it even worse was, after in 2020 when Jimmy got hurt, and here again we have losing. But people don't look at how many people were hurt. You gotta, when we look at these things, we gotta analyze that, hey, who's in, who's out. We gotta look at it for what it is. But only thing they look at is at the end result. The end result, no Jimmy, losing record, and that's not what you really get, but like I said, he's not bad. And that 25th-ish, I'm with you. But Coach gave you a hard question when he asked you if Jimmy is 25th, then is Trey 24th? And you can't answer that.
You can't really give Trey a number right now after 2 starts, but I think he's gonna be a clear upgrade from day one. I
do too. And then when you said where Jimmy left off, where Trey will begin, I'm looking at that like, think about where Jimmy left off in the playoff game.
He was so bad in the playoffs.
He was so bad.
Yeah.
So as long as he could be better than that, but I mean, not as long as, but he's gonna be better than that. I just can't see him being worse than that. However,
me too.
For the fans, he will have to win. That's all. I'm a fan. I know you're not a fan, kinda, but nah, I know you're not a fan, but he has to win. That's just it.
Right.
He has to win. But I want to give you a quick quiz real quick. I'm gonna ask you something, and I want you to pick Jimmy. I just picked some playoff stats, right?
Okay.
Of some quarterbacks, and I want you to pick Jimmy.
All right.
So one of these quarterbacks, I'm not gonna tell you their record because I know you've been on it, so you'll just about tell what it is by the record. But they went from 100, they went 200 passes, 143 complete, 68%, 16.
That's not Jimmy.
That's not Jimmy. Okay.
That's not Jimmy.
What about 80 for 132? 60%, 962 yards. Okay, what about 89 completions out of 146 passes? 61%.
Not Jimmy.
Not Jimmy.
It was the one before.
It was the one before. That was
good in the playoffs.
Huh?
He's not good in the playoffs.
He's just not good.
Anything.
And guess who the first one was?
Who?
Nick Foles. Foles. 4-2, same record as Jimmy in the playoffs. Right. 4-2. He has a 68% completion, 1,633 yards.
Wow.
In the playoffs.
See, to me, I think there are definite carryovers between Foles and Jimmy, but I would even say Foles is better Foles won the Super Bowl. And then he got the big contract and left and got hurt and was a disappointment. What's Jimmy going to do when he leaves his team? Is he not going to pull a Foles? What if Jimmy had to go to Jacksonville like Foles did? What would happen to Jimmy? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I was like, just looking at that, you wouldn't think that you have one quarterback that can't get a team to trust him, and the other quarterback, the NFL think he's up here, he's top tier, with basically, Foles having better numbers,
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And that goes to show you too placement.
Yep.
Philly had a good team.
Yep.
Philly had.
Yep. Jacksonville didn't. The Niners have a good team. Jimmy Garoppolo's success will depend on where he goes next, because he's not just going to elevate some franchise. He's not going to do that.
Right.
He didn't do that in the first place.
That's it. But he get credit for doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's all. Hey, I just wanted to come on here and hit you with them couple things, man. And man. Oh, we appreciate you, man, and we love this right here. This give us a chance to talk and be heard. And we just appreciate everything you do, Grant.
I haven't been doing them every weekend because things haven't been going on, but stuff happened yesterday, so I figured today was a perfect day to talk about it. All right, man.
Right.
All right. Have a good one. Later. That was a good call. KO, you ready? What's up? How you doing, man?
What's happening with you, bruh?
What's good, man?
Shalom, my brother. Shalom.
Man. What's up?
Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Hold on, I'm on the thing. I get back to me.
I'll get you in a minute. That seemed like that was going to be interesting. I kind of want to stay with it, but it's none of my business. What's up, Freddie?
What's up? The man, the myth, the legend.
Shalom.
Yo, what's up, Grant? What's the subject today?
The subject is, dude said the Bucks are going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and other dude said Trey's arm gets tired when he throws.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's my take. The reason I'm even calling today is because, like you said, it's been slow. Yeah, man, this trade thing is concerning. But I want to get on that dude coach's head. Let me at him, because he was making no sense, man. I mean, okay, here's what I was thinking. The trade thing, I had a little kind of think. The trade thing is the Grant Cohn effect. Trey is the Grant Cohn effect on the Niners. It's like whoever you are picking, they are going against.
True. Whoever I'm backing, they don't
exactly. It can't be nothing else. That's the Grant Cohn effect.
Ross Dwelly? Oh, he likes Ross Dwelly?
Exactly.
5 targets this season. And tell him to stop talking about you.
Yeah, but Tullahafanga is the next Ed Reed. It's like, what? Yep. What is up with this team, man? I feel like Shanahan he really wants to be Bills. Like, let's knock this dude. Let's knock people, because that's the Patriot way. Let's make them feel we don't want them to come in with the superior mindset.
Maybe Kyle and the 49ers are so into proving me wrong. They just do things that are not in the best interest of their team. Oh, he thinks we should start Trey. I'm going with Jimmy.
Yeah. Because the reason I want to get on that coach's head is, does he have a point? Maybe, but what is his argument based on? Because I couldn't really understand. Was he trying to say that Jimmy's better than Trey, and you're just being a fanboy? Because that's not an argument. That's an accusation. You can't build on.
I'm cool with him. We're cool.
I know.
What I understand, he was like being like, "Hey, man, like your opinion is too strong. Like, I'm trying to have the strongest opinion possible. I'm trying not to mince my words. I put my chips in a certain. It's like a lot of. I mean, I don't like when people be like, "Well, could be Jimmy or could be Trey based on this." Like, man, pick one.
Well, no, you have to have a. But that's why I want to get on these guys' heads, because I don't understand what your argument for Jimmy is. Because the NFL Network has been showing the LA Rams game and the Green Bay game. And I want to know, what did you see that you said, let's bring this guy back? What did you see?
5 until they remembered that they need to run the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah, but we're
credit for handing the ball off 40 times a game. And again, if Jimmy, a lot of people say, like, a coach was trying to nail me down on where I rank him. Dude, he has Niner fans would say the Niners have the best weapons in the league. He's got Kittle, he's got Debo, he's got Ayuk, and yet the whole offense has to run through Elijah Mitchell. Why is that? As Brian Windhorst would say, why is that? You got Kittle, you got Ayuk, you got Debo, but everything has to go through Elijah Mitchell every week. Why is that? Why does Debo Samuel have to play running back? Because Jimmy's not that good. You can give him the best weapons, the best run game, the best defense.
Yeah,
you still can't trust him.
My comparison with Jimmy is that he's a Russell Westbrook. He's a fourth place hitter that hits 250. If we know the game of baseball how it's changed, fourth hitters used to hit 250, but you could rationalize it because they hit 40 home runs. But now in baseball, fourth and third place hitters are hitting 330. You know, the game's changed. The efficiency, Jimmy, he's not efficient. He lost the LA Ram game. Are they not watching these games?
Last thing, and I got to let you go after this because the show's almost over, but they talk about his great accuracy, right? He's not an accurate quarterback. He throws a lot of short passes. Accuracy, like on the slant, it's about throwing the ball chest height 1 yard out in front. How many times do we see Debo Samuel have to reach back, reach up, reach down? He's not an accurate quarterback. His ball placement is not particularly good. I don't like that when people say that about him.
One last thing, Grant. They're trying to say that, but his arguments seem to be because we don't know Trey that he can't be better than Jimmy. Look, if you're a 250 hitter making $50 million, you're getting traded. So anything's better than you. Anything's better than Russell.
Thank you, Freddie. Good call.
All right.
Later. KO, you ready? You settle it? All right, ready.
I'm ready.
Are you good?
What's the deal? What was sorry about all that, man. But all I wanted to talk about was a little Danny Gray, man.
Okay.
Danny Gray, man. That's it, bro. Just been watching his highlights, you feel me? And I think he finna do something this year. That's it.
What do you like about him?
Explosive, bro. Man, at first I thought he wasn't explosive, you feel me? But that man, he can run some routes, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. He kind of cold, you feel me? What else I could say about him?
Does he remind you of anyone? Like,
now I'm feeling like, what if he could be Terry McLaurin, bro? What if he could be, bro? You feel me?
See, to me, the reason they brought him in is because Ayuk might not be on this team long term. They're gonna give a lot of money to Bosa and Debo. They may not have the money for Ayuk, and Ayuk's good, but Danny Gray's a whole lot faster. And you might argue if Gray's good, he's a better complement to Debo than Ayuk. You could argue, but I don't know how good Danny Gray is.
What I was watching so far is the man can return kicks.
Okay,
the man he cool at route running for sure. He could run the ball. And he doing basically he can do the little Debo stuff, the little end around. I don't know if he could take the punishment and he was enough strong, but he can do the same type of thing.
What about, can he take the top off the defense? Can he just run by people?
He could do that. And what I can say about Ayuk is Ayuk was cold too, you know what I mean? But like you said, bro, once he gained his weight, he lost his that first year. That rookie year, he was cold. I'm talking about like I thought he was finna be something, but after he like bulked up a little bit, I felt like he lost his edge a little bit. You feel me?
I agree.
Yeah.
Brandon, if you're watching this, KO and I agree. You need to lose 5 pounds at least.
You got to, because I don't think he could jump over that Eagle dude no more.
I totally agree. And it's not like you're over. It's not like you're eating too much, man. You need to put the weights down. You did it. You're very strong. You lifted too much. Stop bench pressing.
Yeah. And then what I was gonna ask too is, I like the little stuff you and your pops be doing. And your pops are real dudes. You feel me? I respect them. But y'all need to try to incorporate a little bit more of that boxing knowledge that he got. Incorporate that with some 49ers football. You know how y'all did the Warriors versus the 49ers and the Giants and all that? Try to incorporate some of his.
Do you watch all the biggest fights?
I box. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So every time I hear your pops get on, I remember you said that your pops was in a couple of the crowds for them big fights. I don't remember which one you specifically
If you go back and look at the Sugar Ray Leonard fights from the 80s, so him against Tommy Hearns,
Boom.
My
Boom.
dad's bald head is in
Boom.
front row. You can see him. He looks exactly the same.
I got to.
No, hey, what's the next big fight? Me and my dad will watch it. We'll talk about it.
The
figure it
next
out.
one that I want to see, I want to see Lomachenko go with Javante Davis.
Okay, we'll watch that.
I think that'll be. It ain't happened yet. You feel me? But that's what I want to see though.
All right, man.
All right, Grant. I'm gonna get in there earlier next time, bro.
All right, man, for sure. Have a good one.
All right, peace.
Later. Guys, I got to wrap the show up in a minute because it's 12:01 and I said I was going to stop. I told my wife we were going to go to the gym, but I could take one more caller. Friend of the show, Camp Report. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm doing good. I wanted to. How are you?
Good. Your voice dropped.
Oh, like it got deeper?
Yeah, your voice dropped. That's cool.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
Anyways, I wanted to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and why I don't think it makes sense for him to go to the Buccaneers. For one, like I know this guy is a really the Cilio guy he seems like a good dude, but when he said on Twitter, like when he tweeted, I saw the tweet, I'm having Don Yee on and we'll discuss all about it. It kind of seemed to me more of like a clickbait kind of like thing. So like that's no knock on him, but like I don't know how true this is, just because I feel like it was more done to get views. Like the way he was putting it, he made it sound like he was going on with Don Yee, and then he never went on with Don Yee.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think he has some plausible deniability there. I think what the tweet was, what? I'm a big friend of Don Yee. We're going to talk about it. We technically refers to you and Don, not you and the viewers, but I'm an English major. Maybe he's not, in control of his words like that. But what I will say is, look, when pressed, he said, look, I spoke to Don. Don told me this. So if he's lying,
he's putting
his career is over.
Yeah.
So I respect that he at least clarified and put it out there, because Don could come out today and be like, I don't know this guy. I didn't say this. He didn't do that. Yeah.
Well, the other second thing is, if the Patriots, the Buccaneers, if they were getting Jimmy Garoppolo, they're basically accepting, because when Tom Brady leaves, I think that they're going to go into a full rebuild mode. So if they get Jimmy Garoppolo, they're basically accepting that he is going to be the cornerstone of their rebuild. And I don't know how that would make sense, because I don't think the system fits. It's one of the worst scheme fits. Your receivers, you'd have to really structure the team around Jimmy Garoppolo. And the way it's structured right now, it wouldn't suit what Jimmy Garoppolo does. The offense doesn't suit it. I guess you'd maybe they want a guy that's a veteran that can come in and the team won't drop off when Tom Brady leaves. But I don't think it makes sense to like at least try to go after like someone like Bryant Young or Tank or whatever this year. But like Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know why you would want him as a cornerstone of your rebuild. You see what
I don't get it either. I think the whole thing is they don't want to rebuild. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with Tampa.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, the way they're talking is like they look at themselves as a win now perennial contender, and they don't want to turn it over to a young quarterback such as Kyle Trask or whomever. So they have Tom Brady, who's not just a quarterback, he's a coach and a general manager and practically an owner. He's very powerful. And if he says, guys, Jimmy's really good, Jimmy's my friend, let's bring Jimmy in. I mean, that takes a lot. He has a lot of sway. And also, you said the bad scheme fit. Yeah, I agree when Bruce Arians was important there. But now if he's out and it's like a Tom Brady production, and Brady feels that Jimmy can fit it, think of it as Tom Brady's team now. Forget Bruce Arians. It's Tom Brady's team.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. And I guess it's like maybe that's the only only place in the league where Jimmy could thrive again. Because Jimmy, I would think his confidence is down too. Maybe Tom Brady could build it back up.
Well, I think as long as they have, I guess, Leonard Fournette, he's like one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. He's one of the most bruising running backs. I guess as long as they have him, I think he would actually do really good. As long as that's why I think the Browns are actually a decent scheme fit as well, because they have obviously have Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones, who aren't really good with are more deep threats and stuff like that, but they have a good running back and one of the top 3 defense in the league, arguably. So they would be a good scheme fit. Another thing that I quickly want to say about the Browns is I think the other reason why I think the Browns should be more aggressive is for one, I think the head coach for the Browns, he needs to prove that like the organization needs Jimmy Garoppolo to kind of balance that team out. They've had so much drama with the Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson thing. I think the 49ers, they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo and he kind of made their organization he made them a winning organization. Say what you will about him. He made them a winning organization again. So maybe the Browns bring him in to kind of stabilize the organization. And right now they're the laughing stocks, but maybe he could bring like a sense of leadership to that locker room that would really help the team. So,
hey, if Watson gets suspended for the year, I think that's probably what they're going to do. I do.
I don't think he will, but
I don't think he will either. It'll be interesting to see if Tom Brady brings his friend in to be his backup, and if Jimmy accepts it, that'll be interesting. I think he wanted to start. I don't think he's going to start this year, man. And I think what's going to happen is, again, Don Yee looking around. No one wants my client as a starting quarterback. It's not that no team wants him as their starting quarterback. It's just that he's not going to be healthy until after the season starts. So he would have been a starter, but it's like he'll be a backup only. All right, man. Yeah, sure. You always got an excuse. But
that
anyway.
makes it sound like when they chose to have the surgery later, that they kind of killed themselves almost. Like at first it was a good move for them, but
they saw where this was going. They maybe Don Yee called around and realized, geez, no team has my client as their number one option, right?
That's true.
Instead of like him realizing that he's a backup, let's actually take his destiny into our own hands. Oh, it's not that teams don't want him. It's that he's hurt. That could have been. Because honestly, I was talking to my contact in the league back before this all went down was, geez, I mean, I don't know everyone, but no one I'm talking to is looking at Jimmy as their number one option. He's everyone's like second or third option. So, I mean, I'm sure Don, he knew that. And maybe he told Jimmy, look, man, there's a real possibility that you'll have to be a backup this year. And that's going to look bad. So why don't we just take control of this ourselves? Hey, the Niners, you played hurt. It was admirable. Surgery, nothing wrong with that. Hurt doesn't mean, we'll just conceal the fact that your market is gone.
Yeah.
Pretend like it exists.
I just think the Browns should be aggressive with this guy because I think they need a quarterback that is going to like maybe bring some sense of I think Jimmy Garoppolo would bring less drama to that locker room that they've had in the past few years. So
good to see you, man. Call him more often.
Yeah. Real quick, I think you should have John Chapman on your show more often. I did a show with him yesterday, and he's a really cool dude. So that's one guest that I want to see on your show more because he is great. So.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys collaborated. That's terrific. Camper.
I'll see you later.
See you, man. Scott Martin. Guys, I got to end the show. I'm sorry. But what I left a lot of people hanging. Bryant, the Amelia Sports Report, Cameron. I will do this again tomorrow. And the three of you, I'll let you on. El Baba Yaga. I told him we got to hit the gym. It's deadlift day. Scott Martin says, Grant, in your opinion, when did PSJ lose his edge? I think he never fully recovered after nuking his knee against the Chiefs week 3, which led to him refusing to step up in the pocket and throw deep. Yeah, I think that's true. But I also think he was starting to crumble before then. His week 1 that season before he messed his knee up was terrible. I think he was always a bit of a mirage. He stepped in on a team that wasn't as bad as people thought. He won games by very slim margins. He did eviscerate Jacksonville that year. They'd never won on the West Coast. They were a very immature team. I think the bar was set too high, and he could never live up to the idea of him. I don't think he was ever great. I think he was kind of a mirage that got exposed. People saw him running around. They thought he was going to be Tony Romo. He was not Tony Romo. Tony Romo is one of the smartest. You hear Tony Romo on those as an announcer. Can you imagine Jimmy Garoppolo analyzing football? Can you imagine what he would say? He'd have nothing to say. He would be. Rhino G. Alcantar says the mainstream media puts down Trey Lance so much. Grant just brings Trey up to give us real Niner fans hope. Thanks for being here for us, Grant. Yeah, I feel like I'm just balancing it out because the kid gets a bunch of flack for nothing. Cover the Jake Paul versus Hakeem Rockman Jr. fight on August. Jake Paul? Is that what boxing is these days? Like these celebrity matches of people who don't really box? Well, I don't know. Cameron, again, Amelia Sports Report. I got to end the show now. But tomorrow, if you jump in, same time, 11 o'clock, I'll jump you guys to the front. Sorry about that. I made my wife promise an hour and I went 71 minutes because you can't trust me. See you guys.